Welcome back to City Education, the channel for education in all shapes, all forms, and all sizes. Today, we dive into a fundamental part of every lawyer's job, advising and counseling of clients. What do you do when a client asks, "What can I do?" Or, "What should I do?" Well, stick around. Let's unpack the tools that turn legal confusion into confident decision-making. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Now, let's rewind for a second. In the previous chapter, we saw what happens when a client walks through your doors for the first time. They are often anxious, overwhelmed, and unsure if their situation is even legal. Your first job as a lawyer is to listen to them. Let them tell their story in their own words. After which, you ask the right questions, sort relevant facts from emotion. From there, you determine if there's a legal issue hidden within their story. For instance, a mother may come into your office saying their child was unfairly expelled from school. Your job is to unpack her story and see whether all relevant procedures were followed by the school when expelling the child. Ask yourself questions like, was discrimination involved in the expulsion? Or is there a recourse under administrative or constitutional law? It is very important to note that clients rarely or ever come in with legal jargon, but instead, they come in with emotions and two key questions. The first is, what can I do? Meaning, what legal options are available to me? The second is, what should I do? Which means, what's the smartest, safest, and most practical option to choose? Now, let's look at the following example. A client may want to sue for defamation because of a nasty picture which was posted on Facebook. Legally, they can sue, but should they? You as a lawyer will need to explore if the post meets the threshold of defamation and if the lawsuit is worth the cost or emotional toll. Now, let's go back to what today is all about, advising and counseling. Well, advising is all about options. Here you provide information about what the law allows and what it doesn't allow. Counseling, on the other hand, is all about judgment, basically. Here, you help your client choose what the best option is by weighing legal and non-legal consequences. Think of advising as the map and counseling as helping them choose the best route. It is important to note that good advice isn't random, but structured. Here's a 6-step method for effective legal advising. 1. Identify the client's problem and objective. 2. Investigate the facts and determine the options. 3. Identify relevant and legal principles. 4. Identify legal and non-legal consequences. 5. Discuss each option thoroughly. 6. Recommend the best option and always explain to your client why. Your ability to give solid advice depends on your skill in analyzing facts and researching the law. You can't rely on gut feelings or old cases. The law evolves all the time, and facts differ in every case. Note that advice can be sought at any point during consultation, litigation, proceedings of any sort. Now, for a lawyer, they must be cautious when giving advice orally, especially under pressure. A rushed conversation can lead to misunderstandings, incomplete information, and legal mistakes. You are in court, for example, and a client asks you, "Should I accept this plea deal?" You don't have all the facts or time to consult thoroughly. If you must advise at the time, qualify your answer. Say, "Based on what I know, here's what I think," and follow up with a written explanation. We've drawn down the map. Now let's go through the best route. Counseling isn't therapy, but it's about support. After giving advice, help the client make a good decision. Not all clients are decisive. Some are overwhelmed, afraid, or simply uninformed. Here's a little tip. Always give space for reflection. Say to your client, "You don't have to make the decision now. Take some time, let's talk tomorrow." If a client chooses an option that's illegal or unethical, you cannot proceed as a lawyer, even if they insist. Your duty to the law and your profession comes first. For example, if a client comes to you and says, "Let's fake documents to win a certain case," your response should be firm and heard. It could be along the lines of, "That's not an option I can consider. I cannot be party to illegality." Another thing to note, which is very important, and we've touched on above, always follow up on oral advice with a written letter. This is a very important rule. It does not only protect you, but your client as well. It also gives them something to reread and digest. Now let's look at how a letter of advice would be structured. You'd start off with your letterhead, where we have your email addresses, your references, the dates, and your client's reference. This would be followed by addresses. After which, you have your "Dear Sir, Madam." Now we begin the letter. You'd start off with your heading in bold, maybe underlined, or with capital letters. Then you move on to your executive summary. On your executive summary, you have your introduction and background. You give a background of the problem, as well as a little bit of advice, not too much. We move on to your body. Now your body will contain the relevant laws. Here, you will find case law, you can put in your statutory law, and so on and so forth. The body must also contain your legal reasoning. Why and how these laws align with the background and problem given by your client. After which, we'll move on to your conclusion. Here, you use your legal reasoning intertwined with your background to give the best possible solution and why that is so. You end it with yours faithfully and your names. Now, obviously, different law firms have different ways of writing their letter of advice, but the structure is more or less the same. You always have your background, you always have your relevant laws, and you always have your conclusion as to what you are advising the client. Let's look at a few golden rules to look at when advising and counseling clients. Always be honest, even if the truth is hard to hear. Don't flatter the client just to please them. No. Avoid vague statements. Clarity is key. Respect the client's final decision, even if it's not what you would have chosen. The client's instructions come first. As lawyers, you are literally an instrument of your client's instructions. Moving on from that, never encourage shortcuts, dishonesty, or illegal actions just to please a client. Always keep in mind that a good lawyer doesn't just speak. They help others make sound decisions. In conclusion, always remember that advising and counseling are not just about knowing the law. They are about knowing your client. They are about guiding people through some of the hardest decisions of their lives with clarity, courage, and compassion. Whether you're helping a grieving father seek justice, guiding a business through legal risk, or counseling a woman facing eviction, your words matter. Your advice can change lives. So don't just be a legal technician. Be a trusted advisor. Be the voice of reason in the noise. Be the calm in the storm. Thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, like, subscribe, and share it with someone going through their legal journey. This is City Education, where knowledge meets purpose.